So I went to All In 2024 last night, and let's talk about my thoughts on it. One, thoroughly enjoyed myself. It was super fun card, super fun show, great crowd. The crowd was a lot smaller than last, well, not a lot smaller. It was about 50k sold this year, 80k last year, so a good chunk less, I will say. But you know what? Everyone enjoyed themselves, everyone was chanting, everyone was having fun throughout the show. But let's get down through the show itself. This is where I was sat, and it was quite high up. I did go, I'm pretty sure, for the cheapest tickets, because there was quite a few of us going, so I thought we'd save money. The staging was very different to last year. I kind of bought the seats where I bought them because I was thinking, well, last year I was sat behind the Titantron, or the screen. This year I'll sit opposite it so I can see it. And then I walked in and the show was completely reorientated. I think it's because Taylor Swift was there 2 days prior and that's where her stage was. So I think the stage they might have used some of the components of Taylor Swift's stage. But you know what? It was fine. Just, don't book tickets thinking about last year's layout because it's probably going to be different. So I got into Wembley 5 minutes before the main card started because it was quite a journey to get to Wembley for me, so we decided not to go for the pre-show. So we got there right before the main card started and I was like, oh nice, Casino Battle Royal, let's go. And then I realised the card wasn't exactly the order I thought it was going to be. So when they were posting the graphics, everyone was kind of like, oh, okay, this graphic, the card's going to go right to left going upwards. That wasn't it. The card was like not at all in that order. The only one that was in the right place, I believe, was the main event. So we'll go through it match by match now. So the first match was the Trios title ladder match, the London ladder match. And you know what? It was a really fun match. Obviously being so far away, and there was like a pillar in our way, so you can see all the action, unfortunately. But, it did say that when I bought the tickets, so that's fine. The action in the ring was a little bit hard to keep up with because there's like, oh God, how many people were there? There was 4 trios, so there's 12 people plus Mother Wayne just in the ring. So there was a lot going on there. There's about 13 people you have to watch. So during that match, there were times where I was just looking at the big screen in front of me instead, because it was easier to follow what they were showing on TV than following 12 people in a ring. But that's going to do with any show. Even if I was probably sat right in front of it, it was going to be like that because there's 12 people to follow. And it was a fun match. There was a lot going on. Some great spots. The table spots were quite good. I went with people who didn't watch wrestling as consistently as me. They kind of know wrestling, they watch a little bit of WWE, but they don't keep up with it. Even they were like, this is sick, love the ladder spots, love the table spots. The one where Christian's head goes into the bottom of the table, they're like, ouch, that looks like it hurts. Yeah, everyone really enjoyed this match. So I was surprised by the finish. I thought Christian, the Patriarchy, would hold on to the title, but obviously I didn't know it was going to be Pac and the Blackpool Combat Club that were going to be in the match as well. But given that, Pac is from the UK, it makes sense that he would. I think everyone from the UK won their match, apart from the Casino Battle Royal, but that doesn't count like an individual match. So them winning the match was great fun. Also, the people I was with, they were happy to see Claudio because they remember him from WWE Cesaro, so they were hyped for it as well. So I guess giving fan favorites the win, plus Wheeler Yuta. Although actually Wheeler Yuta's come on a lot from being a little shitheel that he was, so I did quite like him too. So yeah, really fun match. Everyone enjoyed themselves and it was hype. It was a great way to get the crowd started. The second match was the AEW Women's Championship, Mariah May versus Toni Storm. To be honest, I kind of wanted this match to be later on the card. It's the Women's World Title. I wanted it to be later, but in retrospect, I kind of get why it was put where it is. And also, I'm glad it was put where it is, because this match was great. It had really high, energy, high story beats. The stuff with Luther was great. Again, the people around me didn't really know the competitors. They knew Toni Storm because they came to All In last year, but they didn't know Mariah May. But, once they kind of saw Mariah May, bleeding, they saw her kind of really getting into Tony's head at points. Had to explain why Mina kept being shown on the screen, which was interesting, especially trying to explain Mina's role in this story. But again, really good match. Again, Toni always has been a great wrestler. I've been watching Toni Storm since like 2015 when I really got into the Brit Wrestle scene, and Mariah May has come on leaps and, I mean, she hasn't come on leaps and bounds. She's been fantastic for a long time, but I don't think people really acknowledge how good of a wrestler she is. She is a fantastic wrestler and well deserving of being women's champion. The ending of this match was great. Everyone was like, I think if you knew the story, you knew that was going to be the end, and I think that was the case for a lot of the matches. But for like the people I went with who didn't know, they were like, "Oh my god, the bad guy won, the one everyone's booing won," but again, they were so impressed by the blade job, by how good the blood looked on screen and in person. I mean, Luther also getting involved in the match, they were like, "Oh, this is great," too. Mariah, giving him a little bit there as well. So again, a really fun, really good match. The entrances were great. I think the Toni entrance does a little bit better on TV because you get the black and white thing. It is a little bit less whelming. It is a little underwhelming, if you want to say, in live, but that's kind of going to be the case because part of her gimmick does rely a lot on the TV production of it. So it's just, a different thing, but it was great standing ovation for Toni at the end as well. I think this would be a great way to maybe move on from the Timeless Toni character. It kind of felt like a goodbye to that character, but we'll see what they do on Dynamite. Maybe, I don't know if they're going to be on Dynamite this week. Maybe next week they'll be on it, I don't know. But I think that was a good way to maybe say goodbye to the Timeless Toni gimmick and reintroduce the old Toni. But the Timeless Toni gimmick is so over, so maybe not. I don't know. But great match nonetheless. The third match was the FTW match, Chris Jericho versus Hook. I went into this match being like, "Hey guys, this is maybe the match you guys can go to get a pee break or go get some food." Just because I think Chris Jericho's been a little bit underwhelming, and Hook last year was okay at wrestling, but this match was really good fun. Jericho's singing was a bit Jericho singing. I thought he was going to sing Judas. I didn't realize Learning Tree was its own song. So I feel like this whole Learning Tree gimmick was just a promotion for his own song, it seems, with Fozzy. It definitely happened. I think last year when he sung, it was because it was night, there was fire, and the crowd, like Judas, despite Jericho, is a good song. But, so I think everyone, and people know Judas. People have known Judas for a long time. I didn't think a lot of people were singing along to Learning Tree. Some people were. But, yeah, it was fine. So I thought I was like, but the match itself was, because it was FTW rules, I think it was good. I think it was enjoyable. I think I didn't remember FTW rules were basically an ECW match, a hardcore match. So I was like, oh, they're going to do graps for about 5 minutes. But no, it was good fun. Big Bill got involved. And name is releasing me. He's the bounty hunter. But yeah, it was enjoyable. They got involved. My people I was with were like, "What's going on?" I'm like, ECW rules, guys. ECW rules. The cricket bat and the cricket ball spot was great. Everyone was enjoying that. The Hook hit him with a bat. Hook throwing the ball. Also, Hook throwing those balls was really accurate. Because it was like, if he misses, that's like potentially dangerous for whoever's on the outside. So, good thing on him for hitting Jericho, I think, with every single one of those cricket balls. The table coming out. The Big Bill going through the table. I was like, oh, okay. I was hoping it was going to be Jericho, but it made sense for Big Bill to go through the table. The Hook being like extra blind spot, I think we missed seeing it properly from how far we were. Like, I was like, why is both of his eyes not working? I don't know if it was the camera direction or maybe I just wasn't paying attention fully. I was like, why is he that? Because I was like, Jericho probably did something to his eye. Maybe Jericho poked him in the eyes? I don't know. I don't remember. But yeah, it was a bit confusing. But then Hook in the end, kind of getting around that, getting both of his eyesight back was a little bit of a pop there. And then Taz coming out was a massive pop. Taz and Hook both putting on the sleepers and getting the win. Absolute banger. Good finish. Nice to see Taz, kind of come out, get that big pop. The FTW title storylines are a little bit like, okay, what? I don't know what you're going to do with Hook. If you're going to keep giving him the FTW title, and then, you know, how do you advance him from that? You know, how do you get him beyond fighting for this one title? You know, you want him fighting for the TBS title at some point. You want him going for, okay, maybe not Okada's title, maybe not, well, maybe the TBS title is the only kind of title that he would go for next in, you know, going up there. But, you know, you need to move him on from the FTW title, but that's not related to the show. That's different. So, and Hook, you know, was over. Everyone liked Hook. Even the people around were like, oh, Hook's got swag. He's cool. So, you know, Hook, that's a positive. Everyone was like, what's Jericho doing here, guys? I'm like, listen, yeah, I don't know why he's here. Just deal with it. Next was a triple threat tag match. Great pop for FTR coming out. Great pop for the Acclaimed. Max Caster's rap was okay. The EDL line got a good laugh. The rest of it was okay. It was fine. The Young Bucks coming out as the Beatles was quite cool. I mean, they got booed, which was great, but them coming out as the Beatles, and I think they raised out from the ground, which was also quite cool. So, you know, cool outfits from them. The Acclaimed were definitely super over. I think coming to a location that was in the US was really great for the Acclaimed, because they were super over here last year, and I think that carried over to this year. Billy Gunn as well. The Sesame thing was over. Caster's rap, you know, like I said, the EDL line was good. The other lines were fine, I suppose. Bowens, just exudes raw charisma. I stand by the fact that I think he would make a fantastic singles wrestler. Everyone loved when Bowens got on the mic. So yeah, definitely great for the Acclaimed. Definitely great for Bowens. The match itself was also pretty good. I prefer triple threat tag team matches when there's 3 people in the ring, just because it's a little bit more intrigue. But also, they're like the spots where the Wheeler was forced to tag in. I think it was Bowens, was cool because he tried to get Dax in, but Dax wasn't there, so he had to go for Bowens because he was tired and beat up. The finish of the match made sense. The Young Bucks retaining was what I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be one of the Acclaimed that got pinned, but it was one of FTR that got pinned. But yeah, overall, really good match. Again, when you're sitting so far away, you can't really watch the ring when there's so many things going on. It's kind of easier to look at the screen, but still really fun. Great match. I knew it was going to be the Young Bucks winning this match, and you know, really good showing for the Acclaimed in particular. Again, just showing that they are genuinely popular. It's just maybe in the US, people are a little bit disenfranchised with like Max Caster. Like the US crowds are a little bit unsure with the Acclaimed because there's not been a lot of movement for them, but as an act overseas, they are so over. Next was, I think, my favorite match, not the best match, but my favorite match, the Casino Battle Royal, because Battle Royals and like Rumble type matches are amazing. You get all the cool pops of people coming out. It seemed like the timer got shorter and shorter, but like it got shorter, then it got longer. I don't know if that was normal for the Casino Battle Royals, but like it was like a good 4 minutes, like 3 minutes, then another 3 minutes, then like 2 minutes, then a minute, and then back to like 2 minutes. So it was a bit all over the place, but it was great fun. Orange Cassidy, big pop coming out. Okada, big pop coming out. And then I think one of the biggest pops of the night, apart from like the main event, Nigel McGuinness coming out. Oh God, that was beautiful. That was so amazing seeing people chanting for McGuinness coming out. Oh my God, that was just, honestly, it's one of those things where you're like, I can't believe I get to experience this as a wrestling fan. It was amazing to see that. Then, you know, everyone else got really big pops as well. Jeff Jarrett got a great pop. Again, it was like last year, I would say, I can't believe I got to see Sting in my lifetime, because obviously I'm not in the US. Sting was meant to have been retired. It was unlikely I was ever going to get to go watch him, but I got to see him last year. And it was the same thing with Jeff Jarrett. I thought, oh, I'm never going to be able to watch Jeff Jarrett. Like, what? This isn't WCW. This is here now. God, 20, 30 years after he was world champion in WCW. But I got to see Jeff Jarrett. massive pop. Everyone loved it. Everyone loved his guitar spot as well. Hangers coming out. Everyone was like, "Oh, I don't know if I want to cheer you, I want to boo you. You've been a little bit of a dickhead recently." Him choking out Jeff Jarrett's wife. Everyone was like, "What the hell are you doing, dude?" But then Ricochet coming out. Massive pop. I know his signing got ruined online, but also it was kind of the writing was on the wall. If you leave WWE and you're as big as Ricochet, your options are AEW, or you do the Mustafa Ali thing where you try, on like TNA and the Indies, try and really build that hype around you. But I think Ricochet is the kind of guy who's like, I can go right into AEW, get a good spot. And he did. Ricochet got right into AEW, massive pop, took everyone out of the match. I was convinced he was going to win. I would have thought it was going to be him or Okada, maybe Hangers, but it was going to be one of those three. But then it was Christian. Christian comes and oh god, Christian's knees a shot, man. And he went through a pretty brutal match. He did some pretty hard spots in that match earlier in the night. So I was like, oh my god, Christian, come on, dude, let's go. Don't hurt yourself here. And especially Ricochet taking him out as soon as he was about to come into the match. And then, everyone got some good shit in. Kyle O'Reilly did some great stuff. Roddy got some good moves in. A lot of people, Nigel got his own spots. It was great. Everyone got to showcase themselves in this match. Luchasaurus came out for the finish. I was like, oh shit, this is when the turn is happening. They're pulling the trigger on the turn. And then Luchasaurus doesn't turn. He chokeslams. I can't remember. I think it might have been Kyle O'Reilly. I'm not 100% sure. And then covers him with Christian. I'm not 100% sure who it was though. And Christian wins the match. And everyone was like, okay, that's fine. That makes sense. I don't think it was as big as a pop as you would have seen for Okada or Ricochet, obviously. But, everyone I think was like, okay, this is fine. This makes sense. Christian facing either Swerve or Danielson for the world title. Okay, that makes sense. That's going to be a good story. That's going to be, okay. Everyone likes Christian anyway, so it made sense. Can't believe I didn't mention Zack. Zack Sabre Jr. came out and it was a massive pop as well, because it's Zack fucking Sabre Jr. And everyone loves Zack. So, yeah, sorry, I didn't mention Zack. I'm sorry, you are the true Deputy Prime Minister to Jeremy Corbyn, Zack. I love you. Next was the second best match of the night, MJF versus Will Ospreay for the America title. Ospreay had this really cool entrance, which had this nice intro package. I think voiced over by the guy who plays Ezio in Assassin's Creed. Obviously, Will is sponsored by Assassin's Creed himself. So really cool, again, because I was quite far, we couldn't see the ramp properly, but there was people doing flips and breakdancing and stuff for Will, and then he comes out bathed in red. Really cool entrance, cool jacket, little bit long, but also it was quite cool. Ubisoft probably paid him a shit ton for this, and probably paid AEW a little bit as well, so might as well get that cash, boys. But yeah, really great entrance from him. MJF's entrance, although being very American, we booed it the whole time, because we should. We booed the hell out of that. It was still a cool entrance. The flag was quite cool. The streamers were cool until they just didn't fall. They were and throughout the match, we were kind of just like, the streamers are falling into the ring. It distracted a little bit from the match, but then it did also add some probably some cool shots. Obviously, it probably looked a lot better on TV, but when they showed it on the big screens, you could see, Ospreay doing topes or the Sasuke special with the banners behind him. Ospreay hitting a move with the banners behind him. MJF taunting Ospreay with those red, white, and blue banners. Maybe it was a fire hazard. Maybe it was a potential trip hazard when they were in the ring. The ref was trying to get it out of the ring as much as possible. But it looked cool visually. And I think it probably also looked cool in the later matches as well. So, great match. The multiple times where I was convinced Ospreay's going to win this, and the person next to me was like, I think MJF might win it, and then MJF does something heelish, and I'm like, shit, yeah, he might win. But then, MJF kept doing more heelish things, and I'm like, Will keeps kicking out of these. Will is winning this match. And then Daniel Garcia coming out and the Daniel Garcia reveal, getting a massive pop as well. And once I saw that, I'm like, okay, Will's definitely winning this match. I'm glad Garcia didn't do too much to distract MJF. He didn't hit him with a move. He just distracted him. And that gave Will the chance to hit was it 2 hidden blades, and then he finally hit the Tiger Driver, which, like, the pop when he was gonna hit it, and everyone was like, yeah, do it. That's good storytelling. That's good in-ring and also out-of-ring storytelling when it comes to just a singular wrestling move. Amazing pop. I mean, it was a given that Will was gonna win at Wembley, but honestly, when they come back in 2026, put that world title on him, you're gonna sell out Wembley for that title match, and you're gonna get a huge pop, potentially bigger than the pop in the main event this year. So definitely well worth getting Will on this card. Next was the TBS title match, and I kind of felt bad for them. I was thinking you should have put the world title in this match, but it's hard because you're coming out following a match that was such high emotions and like really got the crowd into it, and you need that break. I think I genuinely now understand why WWE sometimes does those like package breaks or has like a promo on the card or has like a musical performance, because it like gets the crowd like the adrenaline, like you're on an adrenaline coming down, an adrenaline low, but so then the next match, and then people are like, okay, that was a long match, I need to go to the bathroom, I need to get a snack, I need to get a beer, you know, I'm coming down off that massive match, and it doesn't help the performers. Also, like, Britt super over, Mercedes pretty over as well as a heel, and Mercedes had a pretty cool entrance, but I feel like the two of them don't have the best chemistry in ring and out of ring. I think watching some of the promos for it beforehand, I was like, I don't know, these two just don't have the best chemistry, and I think that came through in the match. I think the overall consensus is this was like the one match where people were a bit iffy on. It was like the one match that wasn't an absolute banger. I think the match was a little bit long as well. There was a lot of just trying to get the Brit's like mandible claw move on. There was a lot of groundwork, a lot of not rest holds, but I think because you've had a match with Will Ospreay in it beforehand, which is so snappy, and even like MJF was keeping up. Like, MJF is not the wrestler Will Ospreay is, but he was keeping up in the ring. But this match definitely slowed down the pace a lot. And I don't know, I think maybe a match like this, make it a little bit quicker and give it a couple minutes less is fine. I know, obviously, it's bad me saying give the women less minutes, but I think this match being, because these two can also go fast. These two can have a snappy match. Or give it the same time and just go faster, do more in the match. I think that would have got the crowd really into it. Like, we were getting to it at points, but it wasn't getting over as much as some of the other matches. I just was like, I wish this match really, like, people really got into it, but it just was the one where the placement and also the chemistry between the two in the ring just wasn't there. Next up was the coffin match, Jack Perry versus Darby Allin. I think, I don't know what the consensus is on this. Hey, let me know in the comments down below what you think. But I was a bit like, I felt like it was over a bit fast. I like, some of the stuff was great, like CM Punk chants for Jack Perry was coming out, but then, and I was explaining to the people I went with, like, oh, people are saying CM Punk because of the glass thing and Punk getting fired, and like, oh, and as I'm telling that story, Jack Perry gets the glass out and pours it on the ground, and the crowd is like, oh my god, he's got the glass out, it's real glass, bitch. And I think that kind of turned the thing from chanting CM Punk. I think the crowd started chanting about the glass, they started chanting for Perry. So that was really great. I think, understandably, the match was Perry overwhelming Darby and brutalizing him, and I just feel like they maybe took, either that should have been longer, that he should have really beaten Darby down before taping him up and putting the belt on his legs, or they should have done it even faster. So it was, you know, you either want this match to be even faster, even more frenetic, or you want to see Perry really beat down Darby, really get him to a point where he just cannot get his escape. Because like, it's Darby, you could hit him with a bus and he will keep going. Well, so literally, he gets hit by a bus and he keeps going. So you really have to beat him down, and I feel like Perry should have either done that, or the Bucks could have come out and they could have beaten down Darby really fast. But after he puts Darby in the coffin, after putting him in a body bag, after tying him up, they're going to set it on fire. The Young Bucks come out with what's meant to be gasoline, and Jack Perry has a Zippo lighter, but like a new Zippo, so like not the cool ones which you would see, like the ones. And then it goes dark. And fucking Sting's music hits. Sting comes out with the bat, beats up them in the ring, rescues Darby, hits double Scorpion Death Drops on the Young Bucks. I was like, I got to see Sting again. And to be honest, they were promoting Sting action figures the day before, or in a couple of days beforehand. And I was like, I get it. It was the Sting from last year, his Jack the Ripper outfit. But I'm like, they're really pushing the Sting figure. There was a part of me that was like, I think Sting's going to come at some point during this match, or at least some point during the card. And he did, and he came out and was amazing, and just that massive pop with Sting. They deliberately put this match, the penultimate match in the card, because you want it to be dark when Sting comes out, obviously, and it made sense. The massive pop with Sting was great. I just felt like the match could have been better. It was the other match I was a bit like, I don't know. It was the other match where I thought it wasn't like an absolute banger, but I think other people really enjoyed this match, so less of a consensus on that one. And the main event, the American Dragon, the final countdown match, the American Dragon versus Swerve, who was literally him. I was so happy Swerve was over as well. I was worried. Obviously, Bryan Danielson, B-Dry, comes out to the final countdown, the yes chants, singing to the final countdown. It might be his last match ever. His family's there, massive. Everyone loves him, so great, so over. But then Swerve's coming out, and I'm like, what's the reaction to Swerve going to be? Are they going to cheer him? Are they going to boo him? And he was over. He was so over. We were singing to his entrance. The performance of his entrance was the actual good one compared to the Fozzy one. The Swerve's house calls, I think there were like nearly 10. They were saying, whose house? Swerve's house, like almost 10 times. Nana got another one in while Swerve was being introduced. But then the match started, and I think Swerve and Bryan Danielson were like, we know Swerve is over. We have to do a lot to get Swerve to get booed. Because I think you wanted that. You wanted Swerve to be vicious. You wanted Swerve to be mad. You wanted Swerve to get those boos because it would make that high for Danielson even higher. And everyone loved Swerve. And I'm a bit upset Swerve's title reign is over already, but just the circumstance of the match, it made sense for him to drop it. But Swerve was working heel, he was stomping. Danielson was bleeding 5, maybe 10 minutes into this match. He was stomping on him in front of his kids, hit like 5 house calls, and I was like, they do another one. And just brutalizing Danielson throughout this match. And I think Swerve did really, really good work. Danielson did great work as well. They were both just killing it out there. This is definitely match of the night. One of the matches of the year, for sure. They were both absolutely killing it in the ring. Swerve getting those boos. Like I said, we were cheering for Swerve when he came out because he is literally him. He is the GOAT. But to get himself that heat during this match was so good. You can tell Swerve is a fantastic wrestler. The way he was reacting to just, after beating down Danielson, kicking him in the head again and again, dropping him on his neck again and again. Doing the spot where the medics come in and Swerve dispersing the medics. Fantastic heel work from Swerve. Absolutely fantastic heel work. But then Danielson managing to fight back, just taking the beatings. Fantastic babyface work. And then Hangman comes out, and I thought it was a random person jumping over the barricade because you saw the security running from where I was standing. I was behind where Hangman came out, and then Hanger's distracting Swerve. I was like, okay, this might be it. This might be where Danielson hits the knee plus and wins. And then he didn't win. But that was when the match turned. That's when the match turned to being in Danielson's favour, which means Hangman did what he wanted. Hangman wanted to cost Swerve that title. He would do whatever he had to cost Swerve a title. But also, having Swerve not lose straight away after that distraction does make Swerve look even better, because he got hit with, I think, 2 or 3 knee pluses. And then the LeBell Lock being the reason Danielson wins makes sense. It is his finishing move. It is the move he uses. It is the submission move he uses. Personally, I'm in two minds whether Swerve should have tapped. Swerve was working so heelish, and having him tap, giving Danielson that even bigger boost as the babyface, makes sense. It makes sense to get that visual of Danielson making his opponent tap to win the title. But also it's Swerve, and I don't want to see Swerve tap. I want Swerve to pass out. But also then passing out is a bit of a baby thing, like a baby face thing. And then Swerve was working so heel, maybe it made more sense for him to tap. I don't know. But he tapped, he lost, and then just eruptions, fireworks. And they did a lot of fireworks, actually. I was quite impressed, especially on the outside. Fireworks everywhere, glitter coming, no streamers, but glitter, fireworks, just insane, confetti. Danielson's in the ring, his family comes in, the Blackpool Combat Club, Sans, Moxley, but with Pac, get in the ring with him to celebrate. His kids are running around the ring. He grabs his son. I love that Yuta gave the world title to Danielson's daughter. It was very, very heartwarming. And again, Swerve did fantastically. Danielson did fantastically. Amazing, amazing end to a show. It was a long show, 4 hours, and they still had the people on their feet, still had the people cheering. Absolutely wonderful wrestling. Great match. Upset Wembley won't be run next year, but I understand. But they are bringing Forbidden Door to replace All In next year in the UK. I don't know where they'll run it. I'll assume it's going to be the O2 because it's going to be in London. O2 is about 18 to 20,000 capacity, so definitely smaller but more intimate. An arena show, I think, makes sense for Forbidden Door, and it'd be cool. It'd be cool to see these New Japan wrestlers on a big, the O2 has a big stage as well, so it'd be quite cool. And then All In 2026 in Wembley, I think they should put the title on Ospreay. Ospreay should be in the main event in a title match. That's going to get you more seats. That's going to get you more sales. I think the product will be hotter in 26 in the UK as well. They're going to Australia next year too. So genuinely, I think it's going to be really good for AEW going forward. And I guess I get to go to Wembley to watch wrestling, which is amazing. So if you watched All In, if you were there, let me know your experience whilst you're there. If you watched it on TV, let me know what you thought about the show. To like, subscribe, share the video with Fred the Fat Member, and I hope you watch some great wrestling today.